In Consumer Corner, we take a look at trends and products creating a buzz here in China. On today's show, we'll discuss a recent price hike by Starbucks in China and ask why Starbucks China prices are some of the highest in the world. We'll also get netizens' views on why Chinese people continue to flock to Starbucks despite the exorbitant prices. Recently, Starbucks China raised the price of 5 of its beverage offerings by 2 Chinese yuan, or the equivalent of about 32 US cents. That might not sound like much, but in terms of purchasing power, it's equivalent to about $2 in most Chinese cities. The higher prices, which took effect during the first week of November, were seen in 12 of the 22 Chinese cities where Starbucks has a presence. A Starbucks China executive interviewed by the Beijing News confirmed that the prices of the Starbucks latte, the vanilla latte, the cappuccino, the mocha, and the caramel macchiato had gone up. In response to questions about the reason for the price hike, the Starbucks executive explained that the move was part of a nationwide standardization process. Quote, "Previously, when we entered into China's domestic market, the prices for these 5 drinks in the 12 cities that have seen a price adjustment were set cheaper than other cities. This price adjustment was aimed at making the price of Starbucks beverages more consistent nationwide." This is the second time this year that Starbucks has adjusted its prices in China. In January of this year, Starbucks China announced the price of several beverage products would be raised in the Chinese market. Most notably, the price of a regular-sized coffee would be raised by 1 to 2 Chinese yuan, or 16 to 32 US cents. The recent price hikes are even more surprising considering Chinese people face some of the highest Starbucks prices in the world. In July of this year, a popular finance portal in China, Sign Up Finance, compiled a list of prices for medium Starbucks coffee in 9 urban centers around the world. The price in China, the equivalent of $3.20, was the second highest, surpassed only by the $5 a coffee drinker would have to pay in Paris. Beijing prices are almost double the $1.60 you'd pay in San Francisco and much higher than the $1.85 in New York. Among the cities surveyed, the purchasing power parity, a measure of the relative value of the currencies, is lowest in Beijing. Singaporean citizens who have an adjusted income that is more than 7 times higher than a Beijing citizen pay approximately the same amount for their Starbucks coffee. Such a disparity between purchasing power parity GDP and Starbucks prices suggests that drinking Starbucks in Beijing is more of a luxury than most metropolitan centers in the world. Sina's comparison chart elicited more than 1,000 direct comments on the microblogging site Sina Weibo. Some posts had a marked sense of sarcasm about them. One blogger connected the Starbucks prices to Chinese tendencies toward conspicuous consumption. He wrote, "The most average coffee shop abroad entered the Chinese market by setting outrageously high prices. Many foreign brands and even some fake foreign brands have all used this tactic. The higher the prices, the better the sales volume is. These companies have really figured out the consumption attitudes of some Chinese people." The dominance of some foreign brands like Starbucks led to some soul-searching among netizens about China's consumers and Chinese culture. One blogger wrote, quote, "The failure of domestic enterprises to expand as quickly as foreign enterprises is partly from a lack of private capital and poor management and operational experience. However, I think the key factor to why domestic enterprises are not succeeding is because there exists something called irrational consumption, and also China lacks self-confidence in its own culture." Others connected Starbucks' success to selling more than just coffee. It's selling an image and a lifestyle that Chinese firms have yet to master. Quote, "The reason why in the fast food industry, Western enterprises like Starbucks and McDonald's can be so profitable is that they are much stronger in terms of not only hard power, but also soft power." When it came to the recent price hike, some netizens actually came out in support and urged Chinese firms to rethink their approach to production and prices. Quote, "See, this is right. Because China's catering industry is afraid of losing price-sensitive customers, they always resort to minimizing costs by using low-quality materials or reducing the quantity. In fact, if the quality of food can be guaranteed, people are fine with paying more, especially when food safety is such a major concern nowadays." Netizens' points of view are diverse, but one thing seems certain. Despite the price hike, Starbucks will continue to lure in customers by the millions and continue its expansion throughout the mainland.